And what's been interesting is that like there's been this comparison made between Brittney Griner and I believe something Whelan. Paul Whelan.
Yeah, former U.S. Marine Paul Whelan.
And what was Paul Whelan doing in Russia?
He got I don't know, I forgot what he was actually doing there, but he got arrested for espionage. But
was he spying?
No, he said he wasn't.
I mean, of course, that's what you say. I mean, that's what I would say. No, I'm not spying. Just on vacation. You know what I
don't know. I don't know.
I guess what I'm trying to say is like, I don't think it's a fair comparison if his job was to go there and spy. You know, because if your job is
he was working for some security firm or something like that.
I guess what I'm trying to say is like, if your job is to go somewhere and spy and then you get captured, right? And then you're comparing that to a woman whose job was to go play basketball and she fucked up by bringing drugs in there. But the only reason that she was put in jail in this way is because she's famous and she was a tool. It was a proxy.
Go back to that, Taylor.
But I'm just, people are making this comparison. They're like, why are we letting this girl out who quote unquote hates America versus this guy who's sacrificed for America?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, the reason why they're in prison might be different things.
Yeah, Taylor's amazing.
What'd she say?
She just informed us that Paul Whelan was accused of spying.
Oh wow!
No, we were sure.
No, we were sure what he was accused of. We didn't know if he
actually was spying.
Like for example, I did a show in Russia. They could easily, and I was actually concerned about this. They could easily, at any point in time, go, "Oh, this guy's out here. He's out here on behalf of the United States of America. He's trying to put out information or like research different parts of Moscow so they can attack him. Let's lock this motherfucker up."
Yeah,
like that. They could have done that at any point in time, and trump up some weird charges, and then
that's right.
Him out of here.
Let's insert the Paul Whelan clip here, Taylor. But Paul Whelan said, "I was arrested." He called CNN last night. He said, "I was arrested for a crime that never occurred. I don't understand why I'm still sitting here." Whelan, a former Marine who was a U.S., Irish, British, and Canadian citizen, was detained at a Moscow hotel in December 2018 by Russian authorities, alleged he was involved in an intelligence operation. He was convicted and sentenced in June 2020 to 16 years in prison, and a trial U.S. officials denounced as unfair.
I would say that if a message could go to President Biden that, this is a precarious situation that needs to be resolved quickly. And I would hope that he and his administration would do everything they could to get me home, regardless of the price they might have to pay at this point.
Here's the thing. I can't believe the Biden administration didn't prepare for this backlash. As soon as this broke yesterday, and we talked about it on Breakfast Club, after I, saluted Brittney for coming home and, gave the Biden administration their props, cool. The second thing I said was, but y'all about to get crazy backlash because there's a former U.S. Marine named Paul Whelan who they were talking about doing a 2-for-1 deal for. And I said, everybody's going to say WNBA player versus somebody who served the country.
Yeah.
Right-wing media is going to eat that up.
Yeah.
They're going to eat that
I
up.
feel like they propped it up.
And then and for a merchant of death.
But wasn't he working for us too? Because I watched that movie, Lord
I heard that too, yeah.
So that's the other thing that's weird about this is like, we locked up a dude who we were also working with.
I heard that. I don't know if that's true, but I heard that. Yeah. And he definitely plotted on killing a bunch of Americans. He definitely supplied weapons that killed a bunch of Africans and Afghans. So, I mean...
that's the other thing I was thinking, right? Like, how there's so many, like, unstable nations in Africa, right? Especially the ones that have all these incredibly valuable natural resources.
Yeah.
Doesn't it behoove the countries that are extracting those natural resources to keep those nations as unstable as possible so that they can't organize and find a way to nationalize those resources and then make it far more expensive to remove them?
Yeah, if you keep everybody else in chaos, but you're organized to do what it is you want to do, meaning take those resources from that country, you'll never lose.
Like, it's no surprise. Like,
they're doing it to us here now.
100%. But I'm also like, if you look at like the Congo, right, which is, I think, the most resource-rich region in the world, right? It's also one of the most unstable places. And I'm like, this can't be a coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be purpose here, right? Like, I don't know. I feel like it.
You keep everybody confused. You keep everybody in chaos. They'll never pay attention to what you're really doing.
Because I guess if you look at the Middle East, right? We were extracting oil in the Middle East far before there were these organized, incredibly wealthy nations.
But what did we have to do before we started extracting oil?
War.
Exactly.
No. But I'm saying what I'm saying is maybe they learned from what happened in the Middle East, and they were like, "Oh shit, we gave we allowed these people to profit enormously off of the oil money that was extracted. We, being, Great Britain, the United States, many other countries, developed all the infrastructure. They weren't developing the sophisticated infrastructure. Then once they made billions and trillions of dollars, they were like, okay, we don't need you guys extracting anymore. Now you're going to have to pay for the oil. And now I imagine the Western countries going, ooh, we fucked up there. We let shit be too sweet. Mm-hmm. It was way better when they were in chaos and we were just yanking that shit out and paying whatever fucking propped up leader they have.
That's right.
It's kind of
bro, keep people in chaos, man. I'm telling you, why do you think every day on social media is some shit? And that's what I said yesterday. I'm like, oh God, today's going to be one of them shit shows online. Because I knew it was going to happen. I knew that the right-wing media was going to be highly upset that, Paul Whelan wasn't home. I knew they were going to be highly upset that they traded a merchant of death for Brittney Griner. I knew that, once that faction of black Twitter and, what they call the hoteps found out that, this dude, Victor, was responsible for the death of a bunch of Africans. I knew that was going to turn into something. I knew that people was going to say, oh, this is an agenda because Brittney's LGBT. It was so predictable, and all the usual suspects did what they always do. And what did we do all day yesterday? Fuss and fight. And who knows what the fuck was really going on in the world yesterday? You know what I mean?
Right. But this is a good lesson. Like, you get locked up abroad. If I get locked up abroad, I'm gay.
Why? That's the last thing you want to do is be in some of these countries.
No, but I need extra boxes to bring me back.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I get what you're saying.
Know what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
I'm gay.
I get what you're saying.
I'm Chinese.
I will say.
I'm all the things. Whatever it is that you need to curry favor with, that's me.
I will say, though, man, the Brittney situation did show me what, communities are capable of. When they decide to organize and strategize and bring awareness and attention to something.
Oh, you think that's what made it happen?
100%. Like, yo, I don't even know what endorsement deals Brittney got. And you know why I don't know? Because they don't do a good job of marketing her as people have done over the past 7 to 8 months. You know what I mean? The whole We Are BG campaign, constantly talking about her. Yo, not even on the low. Paul Whelan benefits from Brittney Griner.
Yeah.
Being arrested.
Yeah.
I never heard of Paul Whelan.
Yeah.
I never heard of Paul Whelan till the Brittney Griner situation.
And now conservatives got to carry through on all the shit they're talking about it. Right? Because if you're going to prop him up and say, look how unfair it is, when you get in power, you better get his ass back.
Yeah.
He talked all that shit about how important he is and the sacrifices he made. You talked all that shit.
Yeah.
You better make sure that that's not just fluff to criticize the Biden administration. You better make sure you actually care about that, man.
Yo, the ill thing is Russia probably sitting back like, hold up. So a WNBA player gets caught with a weed pen, Brittney Griner, and they gave us the merchant of death for her.
Yep.
Oh, we definitely not giving up Paul for nothing. We're not giving up Paul for nothing less than 5 first-round picks. You know what I'm saying? Seriously. Like that's literally what it is. I know that's why they're keeping Paul Whelan now. They're like, oh, this is what we got for this? Oh, I know. Oh my God.
Biden got bodied in that trade for sure.
Easily.
Absolutely.
But I mean, listen, it might help him. To Dr. Umar's point, it might help him in 2024. I don't know. Here's the thing.
You're black. How does it feel? Do you feel like he looked out for you?
I'm going to be honest with you, man. Whenever I see any black person, get free from an unjust charge, I'm happy.
Well, it was a just charge.
9 years, bro.
I don't know what the rules are there, but there are countries where
that's true. I mean, the rules are different. You're right. I'm comparing it to America. You're right. But it just seems unfair. But here's the thing with Biden, though, and this is what I've been saying for the past couple of days, and I'll continue to say, keep that same energy for America. Joe Biden has been responsible for some of the harshest crime, drug legislation in the history of this country.
Free him up.
You know what I mean?
Let him out.
If you can look in Russia and say, that's unjust for Brittney Griner to be over there with a vape pen.
These people locked the fuck up here.
It's right. You got people locked up here.
Performative nonsense.
Right now, he should pardon everybody that's in prison on a federal level for a non-violent weed offense.
Agreed.
Pardon them. You can do that. You don't need no votes and nothing. He can do that.
Done.
You know what I'm saying? You should expunge the records.
I think he did that.
No, he didn't.
No.
That's not what he did, Alex. What he did was he pardoned everybody who has a simple possession charge. But there's nobody in prison on a federal level for simple possession.
No, I thought it was nonviolent weed offense.
Nah, it's simple possession of marijuana. There's nobody in prison on a federal level for a simple possession of marijuana charge. So that's great, and it looks good, but there's nothing there, bro. You know what I mean? The only reason I never really criticized it too hard because it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
But now that we see what you can do,
run it up.
Hey,
run it up.
You can do that right here in America. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, there is nobody alive right now who should do that more than Joe Biden. Because how do you right your wrongs of the past? You right your wrongs of the past by righting the wrongs of right now. You're president of the United States of America. You have the power to pardon everybody in prison. First of all, you can pardon anybody you want. That's number one on a federal level. But you can pardon those people that are in prison right now for non-violent weed offenses on a federal level. Do it.
Yeah.
Keep that same energy. Yeah. And there's political prisoners here in America, you know, that you can let free. So I'm just saying, keep that same energy. You know what I mean? You know, don't and that's what I want us to do. Keep the pressure where the pressure needs to be. Because I think sometimes we get jaded with democracy, but are we really participating in democracy? Democracy isn't just voting and they get in and then you just wait for them to do something. You got to push until something happens. That's why I love what my girl Tasman Figueroa always says, push the fucking line, yo. So that's all I care about.
Let's see if he does it. I don't think he will.
And also with Brittney, I'm just like, for me, it's just like, yo, why wouldn't I be happy that Brittney Griner's out of prison? Like, I don't like, you know what I'm saying? Just like when Paul Whelan comes home, be happy too. I've been in jail. I can only imagine how that shit feels to be locked up in Russia and you know, you probably are being held captive just because you're being used as a political pawn, you know? Yeah. Which is why people said initially when Brittney got arrested, they didn't want nobody to say nothing. That's what they didn't want nobody to say nothing.
Because they were busy negotiating.
That's right. They didn't want nobody to because it messes up the negotiation.
The more valuable she looks, the more value you have to offer to get her back.
That's right.
So we fucked up.
Maybe.
He's fucked up.
Maybe.
But if nobody cared, they wouldn't even get it.
That's what I'm saying. I understand both sides.
It looks weak politically that like one of our sports stars is locked up in another country. We can't do anything about it. It looks weak as a country. And you have to think about like outside of whether or not we should protect our citizens abroad. Because I was thinking about that yesterday. I'm like, if we break the law abroad, do we bully other countries to make exceptions? I don't know. Like, if someone from another country came here, broke the law, lock that motherfucker up. How dare he disrespect me? Yeah. So I'm like,
and now the diplomats from those countries got to deal with each other. I like what you just said, though. You said it looks weak to have one of our sports stars locked up. You know what else is weak? When you don't treat her like a sports star when she's here. Nobody was talking about the WNBA and Brittney Griner beforehand. So that's the other thing. Yeah. What happens moving forward? Moving forward, all of those games should be packed, right?
No, they won't be packed. And it's just not interesting.
We know this, though.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? That's the fucked up thing about it.
But people do like female sports, like female tennis. You go watch the tennis.
I love female basketball.
Okay.
I watch college basketball all the time. Why? Because of Don Staley and the University of South Carolina Lady Gamecocks. I love watching them play. I started watching in 2017 when Asia Wilson was playing for the Lady Gamecocks. You know, she's from the crib. She's from South Carolina. Don, they got a great program there. I love watching college basketball, but I'm also a person who loves the fundamentals of basketball.
Right.
There's no better fundamentally sound people than college women basketball players.
You don't believe that.
That's a fact.
You don't believe that.
They're fundamentally sound.
You don't believe that.
You don't
believe that.
They're fundamentally sound, Schulz.
You don't believe
They do everything but dunk. Everything else, the basics of basketball, they are the best. You know why they're the best at fundamentals? That's all they can do.
But the NBA players, college basketball players that are male also know those fundamentals. They know them better than the women, and they're athletic enough to do all these amazing things that are incredibly entertaining.
But that's what I mean. They can do other things, right? They can shoot from half court like the Steph Currys, and they can dunk and, you know, do crazy things with handle and everything like that.
Yeah.
A lot of them focus more on that than the fundamentals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and one players aren't fundamental.
Yeah, but we're not comparing them to M1. We're comparing them to the top level, you know.
I think when it comes to fundamentals, there's nobody better than college women basketball players because that's literally all they can focus on.
I mean, you could think that. That's fine. It's wrong. It is completely wrong, but you could think it. I would love more people to go support college basketball. The reality is women aren't into it, and if women aren't into it, it's up to men to go support the female sport.
Salute to Bill Burr.
Unfair. Like women, if this is a feminist movement and equality and all that kind of shit, you're 60% of the population. Go support the women when they do things. The reality is you would rather watch The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills than go out and support a show. That's why The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills got fucking 4 million viewers or whatever it does, and a WNBA game has absolutely nobody there.
That's what Bill.
This is on women. I don't want to hear
right.
no more complaining. U.S. soccer, if the women are upset, maybe I understand that a little bit more, just because so many people do go out to those games because they win. Like when the U.S. soccer is winning, Olympic gold or like World Cups and that kind of shit.
Uh-huh.
But if your stadiums are empty, that ain't men's fault.
Hey, Bill Burr said that same thing, man. But I feel that same way about the movie Bros. We talked about Bros last week.
Yeah, that's on you.
If you like, where's your community? If I put something out and I put something together and it's driven by the culture, like it's a black cast, and that. If it don't do good, I'm not pointing at your white people and saying, why y'all ain't show up?
How'd Wakanda do?
Amazing.
All right.
But I mean, that's different though.
No.
I get what you're saying, but that's different though.
I don't think it's different. Black Panther was not this like huge Marvel character for us growing up. This is supported by the community, a movie that's reflected the community, it resonates within the community. Now, that's not to say that white people aren't excited about it too, and comic book fans aren't excited about it too, and you want to have multiple umbrellas that you could like pull from. But the reality is, black people were fucking with Wakanda, and that's why it's successful. I
think Black Panther. I don't disagree. You're right. I think Marvel has a built-in thing already, but when you take the casual black person who wants to go see Black Panther but may not go see no other Marvel movie, that's why movies like Wakanda Forever and Black Panther do great.
Thing. It's one of the most popular sports in the world.
You're right.
Now, what you're doing is drafting off of basketball, and it's not working as well. You got to find a way to make it work. Change some shit up. I don't know what the fuck you got to do, but you got to change some shit to make it exciting. And I'm not saying that they should objectify women to do it, but there are certain sports that have objectified women, and it's been very valuable. You look at volleyball, they got these girls dancing around in fucking thongs and bikinis and shit like that. I personally think you shouldn't need to do that to them, but the numbers are undeniable. Simple as that.
I think the WNBA just simply needs eyeballs, man. I know that's what we're saying, but dumbass. How do you get the eyeballs? What I'm trying to say is
make the game more interesting. I mean,
because the game is interesting. I promise you.
With tennis, female tennis is interesting, and it's not because they're moaning and grunting when they're hitting. It's literally because the volleys last longer. So their lack of athleticism and power makes the game better in a way because you see more back and forth action. Whereas the men, the serves are so strong. A lot of times it's one or two touches, and then that's the point. So the game itself is really interesting and entertaining. Women have to find a way to do that with basketball. They have to find a way where their game is really great.
College basketball is like women's college basketball is like that. Bro.
Yo, nobody goes, you know what I want to watch today? Some fundamentals. Nobody's ever said that.
Do.
I want to watch Allen Iverson cross someone over and make them drop. I want to watch somebody dunk from the free throw line.
But they
I want to watch Steph Curry.
There's a lot of girls that do that too, though. They handle be nice and they can shoot. I like women's college basketball. Now, I'm not going to lie. I don't watch WNBA. Not because I don't want to. I watch it when Asia's playing. When Asia's playing, the Las Vegas Aces are playing, and the game's on, I'll watch it. Mm-hmm. But WNBA college basketball, women's college basketball, I definitely watch.
Yeah. I mean, look.
But it's because of the lady Gamecock.
The UFC has found a way to get people to watch women's
that's different.
MMA.
That's different.
Well.
It's different. We love blood. Blood sports, violence will always win, bro.
I mean, usually when women are bleeding, we try to stay a little bit, away from that.
You married, bro. We married, bro.
Oh, yeah, we out here.
Period don't stop nothing but a sentence, bro.
Yeah.
What you talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It stops a good dinner combo. Often. Did you know that?
Stupid, man.
No, but I guess what I'm saying is like with boxing, no one really cared about female boxing. Maybe Layla Ali a little bit, but like it wasn't as big. With female MMA, there are female MMA stars that are literally almost as big as the top male MMA stars. So they found a way to make the sport interesting, entertaining, and really enjoyable when these girls are fighting.
But that's because there's nothing those women MMA fighters can do that there's nothing they can do that the men can't do, and vice versa. Like it's the same thing. What can a man do in the ring that a woman can't? They kick each other, they hit each other, they beat each other up, they slam each other.
You could say the same thing about WNBA.
No dunking. That's what Shaq said. Shaq said that on Drink Champ. Shaq was like, if they would just lower the rim a little bit and women could dunk more, people would be into it.
I don't know if it's the dunking that...
You know what my idea was? I don't know if it's fair, but my idea was add one trans woman per team.
Ooh.
That was my idea a long time ago.
And what happens?
Now you get the dunking. That's all it's about. Like, now you get alleys getting thrown and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong. There's people that dunk. There's a woman, I cannot remember her name. She plays for the South Carolina Gamecocks. She dunked in a game this year. You know what I mean? So it's just like, that's what's missing. Shaq said that. Shaq was like, if you just lower the rim just a little bit in the WNBA, it changes the whole complexion of the game. And I believe that. So it's like, my idea is add one trans woman per team.
Or lower the rim.
Or lower the rim.
I think they got to do something because it's not working out. What?
Charlie's like, I love watching fundamentals, but the way to fix this game is adding dunks.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you want me to think of some ideas about it? What are you trying to do, man? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying y'all wrong. I'm just saying I know I'm one individual. Okay, we're trying to bring more than just people like me. It's clearly not a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you only like the Gamecocks because they're from South Carolina.
And Don Staley's a bad motherfucker, man.
Yeah.